Hi, I'm Vivian the Knitter.
And I'm Alyson the Crocheter, and this is the Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 107 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn, a knitting and crochet podcast brought to you by me, Vivian, and my daughter, Alyson. And I'm recording from my home in Michigan.
And I'm recording from my home in Scotland. You might also know me as the publisher of Murit, the independent crochet magazine. My mom is also the lovely maker behind Pearl and Plum, where she makes and sells project bags for knitters and crocheters. Thanks so much for joining us, whether you're listening on a podcast app or watching along on YouTube. Hi, everyone.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
It's like the end of June already. I cannot believe it.
I know, time flies when you're having fun.
Time just flies when you're old.
It just flies. Well, that too, but you're not quite old yet, so I wasn't going to say that. The days just go really fast when you're older, unfortunately.
How have you been?
I've been pretty good. So I got back home from the East Coast. And then 2 days later, your sister Emily came and she was here for a week. So she just left and your dad just left for a business trip. So I'm all by myself right now.
With 2 cats.
And it's kind of weird. With 2 cats. I'm the only human being in the house.
Yes.
Yeah. It's takes a little bit of adjustment after like being with family, and then all of a sudden I'm by myself.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that because you were obviously with lots of family back east as well.
I was with all the chews, all my family, and now it's just me and the cats. Yeah. But I'm getting a lot of stuff done around the house.
I can see your from my angle, I can see your sewing cubbies with all your fabric, and it's very tidy. I don't know if it's always that tidy.
It is.
It looks especially
I tidied up right before I left.
I see.
So I haven't actually touched it. Yeah. So that means I haven't sewn.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing other things.
Yeah. Other things like knitting?
Knitting and organizing the house. Just
that was supposed to be my segue into whips. Couldn't tell.
Okay,
like,
whips. Yes, knitting. I have been knitting. I've been doing lots of knitting. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. So my float shawl / scarf / wrap thingy.
Yep, that you mentioned last time.
I'm on the second skein.
Wow. So this is your assigned pooling.
My assigned color pooling.
Do you know what? Like, I feel like now that there's quite a lot of it, I don't feel as bleh about it. Like, I feel like it kind of looks more like polka dots or something, or like, you know.
Yeah, I still have quite a bit of yarn left. I'm just going to continue until I can wrap it around my neck and have good, and then
draping
also
them
be
out.
able to.
Yeah.
And then also, if I block it deep enough, I can wear it as a wrap and then just pin it to the one side.
Yeah.
Because it is pretty deep. Is that. Still not loving the color, but it is a very fun knit. I mean, this pattern is very mindless. You just knit. Well, there were a couple times where I forgot to do the the stitch, and I had to go back and rip out, which isn't that big of a deal because it's mostly stockinette. So the only thing you can't do is you can't do it in the dark because you have to keep track of where the
red is,
the contrast color is. Yeah, so that's my first whip, and I started a new whip, and this is called Jaeger, Jaeger. By Arnie and Carlos, and I just pulled the needle out. Oh well. It's a dickey basically. So it's a color worked. There's like a rectangle in the front, and it's gonna have a turtleneck, and then another rectangle in the back. So it's like a traditional dickey, except thicker. So you don't actually want to wear it under a shirt. You probably, wear it under a coat or something.
They're very in at the moment, aren't they?
Are they? I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen some in shops as well, like actual dickies, like at H&M or something.
This is like what Howard Wolowitz in is it Big Bang? He wears he wears the thin ones under his t-shirts and stuff like that. So
I'm quite impressed that you were able to recall his whole name.
Well, I watched that show many times. And the color work, I'm following the chart, and it's a free pattern, and Arnie and Carlos have their own YouTube. It's Arnie and I can't say Arnie and Carlos. So if you search for that, you can find them, and they've got patterns and stuff. They live in Norway, on a beautiful lake. It's gorgeous. Anyway, the color work is done flat, so back and forth. It's not in the round, so it's not my favorite thing to do. So and also the contrast bits, in the pattern, they're supposed to be pearls.
Oh, so
and then the background is knit. Stockinette.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay, so what you've got is sort of a black. It looks like a
black background.
Yeah, with the like vertical stripes of different motifs. So there's like a motif of like arrowheads, and then another one of like a sort of checkered diamond, alternating, going top to bottom.
The contrast is supposed to be on the front. Is supposed to be reverse stockinette, so you just see the pearls, and then the background is stockinette, so you see the knits. So when you turn it, it's obviously backwards, but I was like, I'm doing it flat, so that means I have to do color work backwards. So you're reading the chart the other way, and also purling. And I was like, you know what? I don't have enough patience. I'm just gonna do this as a traditional color work piece without any knits and purls, just purling in the back and knitting in the front.
Yeah.
And so that's complicated enough because I hate doing the back. Though my back does look pretty neat.
Yeah, very
except
tidy.
for this bit over here. Yeah. So this will for your grandfather.
Oh.
Very manly, color choice. And this is just
as in
what?
For Dia.
No, for
for yeah.
For your yeah, your paternal grandfather. Yeah, this was leftover. The white is leftover from the Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that was gonna be my guess.
And and the black was the original color that Madeline wanted her stripes in, and when I bought it, I was like, it's too black, and she agreed with me. So then I bought the gray, the dark gray instead. Right. So I'm pretty sure I have plenty. I hope I have plenty. Yeah. So I don't.
And the back will just be the same?
The back will be the same. So the back will be a little longer than the front. So this is actually, I'm starting with the back.
Oh, I see.
Right?
And then the turtleneck part, will that just be all black?
It'll be all black.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It's coming, I mean, it's the pattern is quite striking.
Yeah,
I do like that.
I like it.
I just grumble every time I work on the back.
Yeah.
Not my favorite thing to do.
Oh.
So those are my 2 whips.
I have 1 whip.
What do you have?
And it will be familiar yarn.
Ooh!
So this is my crochet version of your wrap. So using the same yarn. So also doing the assigned color pooling. So I still have it in skeined up, so you can see how it looks like. It's got the little dip of red, orange, and then caked up as well. Yep. And the actual yarn itself is 100% superwash BFL.
Mm-hmm. It does smell very sheepy. I do like the way it smells.
Yeah, it does. And you know, like the main bit of the color is very much a warm beige, or like but it's got like a little bit of speckling of other colors. There's like
a blue,
a little bit of
like
blue,
a bit of blue. Yeah.
Maybe mainly blue. But I feel like you can't really see that, at least not when it's crocheted. So this is what I'm doing. I just have a little triangle.
Oh, nice. Oh, I like your flowers.
So yeah, so my little color pops, I'm just doing a popcorn stitch.
Uh-huh.
So it's fairly simple. There isn't very much bleed in terms of, I think with some of the knitted versions, depending on how you do your flower stitch, you might still get a bit of bleed into your knit stitches. Yes? Am I making that up?
Mm-hmm.
But with the
no, you're not.
popcorn, you can kind of just keep using up all the color. And so I have a little bit of bleed, but they're very distinct, just like a little like button of reddy orange. And then you also get that sort of like, because it goes from orange to red to orange again, each one of the popcorns, you can kind of see that happening. It's kind of red in the middle and then orange at the end.
Yeah, almost like it's like an ombre effect or a watercolor effect.
I do think I'm still in mind of like blisters and stuff though. Like because of that red.
We never said that last time. We never mentioned that.
Okay, well that's sort of what I'm imagining. But I think I'm hoping with like the same with yours, as you get more of it, I think that thought in my mind hopefully will go away, because it'll just be kind of more spread out across everything. But the actual stitch itself, there's a few different patterns that use the assigned color pooling, but for crochet, I think it's so easy to do with crochet, because you can do like a cluster or popcorn or a coin stitch, or something that you just wrap the yarn around the hook a bunch of times, because you can just do it not limitless, but as many times as you need it to.
But would it be hard to pull the hook through when you've got it wrapped so many times?
Yeah, it can be, but when I've been doing the popcorn stitches, I do it quite loose, so I can pull the next loop through pretty easily. I haven't actually had any problems with it. But if I made a mistake, I just unravel it and just start again. Anyway.
Yeah, I've found that with mine, because it's on a 5-stitch thing, and each stitch is you yarn over twice, so they're loose, and then you release the loop, so it's very loose. But then when you're knitting through all 5 stitches, sometimes you don't catch one, and then it just starts just falling apart. So
so at least
you have to be very careful about
an issue with that, because if you don't catch one, then you'll just have a loose bit. But so what I've done is the popcorn stitch was sort of inspired by Helda designed a pattern in Inside Crochet called Loopillism, and that was her take on assigned color pooling. There's a indie dyer called The Wool Kitchen, and she does a lot of this assigned color pooling type of dyeing. So I think Helda might have used the Wool Kitchen yarn for hers. So she's just done a simple linen stitch triangular shawl with the popcorns for the colors. And Helda kind of specializes in those simple shawls, which are beginner friendly, but the whole idea that you can make something beautiful with simple stitches, and it can be kind of more mindful. And she just uses color and sort of the finishing touches to elevate her designs. So I took the popcorn stitch sort of from that design, but the actual stitch is not a linen stitch. I had a look on Ravelry and Pinterest and stuff just to like try and find just some sort of stitch, because I kind of figured I could do any sort of stitch pattern I wanted and just do the popcorns. So I found one by Elena Fedotova. She's Ravliki on Instagram, and the pattern is called Sunset. And it's just a triangular shawl which uses this background stitch, but she also has a sort of a rib around the edge, but she does the rib, I think, slightly uses a different technique that most
So, but are you making it a triangle shawl?
So I'm making it triangle.
Mm.
Because I have two skeins, and I don't know if I just have the two. If I tried to make it rectangular, I think it would just either be, I'd have to make it quite skinny or kind of short. Potentially. I don't really know. I didn't really want to do the math, so I figured I'd be safe with a triangle. But I really...
Is it going to be asymmetrical or,
no.
or just a...
I just really liked the stitch pattern, though.
Yeah.
And I will admit, when
I like it.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh, is that knit? It's different on the back.
It almost looks like a basket weave.
I think with the light showing through it,
I like the back.
Hard to see.
Let me see the front again. Oh yeah, the front looks very much like a knitted basket weave, but the back looks more like it's crocheted, if that makes sense.
Maybe, yeah.
But your back is just as pretty as the front. My back, on the other hand, I mean, in the camera it might not look so bad, but in person, you see that?
Yeah, I see what you mean. That's the back. So I probably could have figured out the stitch pattern by looking at it and by looking at some of the thumbnails. She had a thumbnail of the first page of the design, of like the PDF. So I could have figured it out, but I paid the $7.50 for it. So I just figured, why not? She's a designer that I'm sure I've favorited some of her other designs. She's quite prolific, and her designs are nice. I like her aesthetic. So I paid for the pattern just so I could get the stitch pattern, because I'm not going to do the rib around the edge. So she describes it as a modified linen stitch, and I can see why she's called it that, but it is so modified as to be unrecognizable as a linen stitch.
That's it. I don't remember how a linen stitch works.
That's a single crochet chain, and then the next row you work your single crochet into the chain space. And then your chain goes over the single crochet below.
Over the stitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. Working away on it.
Nice. I haven't really shared my project. I just don't like the color.
Do you know what? I actually am not minding it. Like with my blue top, my navy top. It
looks red. Nice.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I'm wearing burgundy or purple, whatever.
Anyway, shall we do our Buzzfeed quiz?
Yes.
I've been fiddling around with this too much, and I have to do a popcorn.
Oh, well, I just lost a bunch of stitches, so I mean, I'm gonna have to pick that up later.
So,
because I wasn't sorry. Buzzfeed quiz. I picked it.
Yep.
And it says everyone is either a Steve Harrington or a Jonathan Byers. Which are you? And these are two characters from Stranger Things. Hopefully our subscribers have watched at least, the first season, so they know what the heck they are getting themselves into.
So are you more Steve or Jonathan?
I am more Jonathan.
So am I.
Did you get him too? Yeah. And the result says, just like Jonathan, you are thoughtful and reserved. You'd rather stay home, chill, and listen to some old tunes and go out to parties. You're not the best at expressing your feelings despite the fact that you feel quite deeply. You are an original who prefers to go against the grain, and you definitely don't care what other people think about you. The stay home and chill rather than go to parties, that's true for the most part.
Yeah,
For
I
me
would say
anyway.
the same. I was about to say, like, I'd like to think I'm thoughtful and reserved, but I think in some ways I am. I think I've gotten less reserved as I've gotten older.
Maybe it's
Grown
also
up,
the podcast.
as I've grown up. Maybe. And I think I can express my feelings fine.
Yeah, me too. Because it actually, that was actually a question.
Yeah, the last question was just, how good are you at sharing feelings? Or are you good at sharing feelings? And I said yes.
I did too.
Yeah.
Okay, what else did you pick? Who do you want to hang out with?
Between Will and Dustin.
Between Will and Dustin.
I picked Will. Did you pick Dustin?
No, I picked Will too, because Dustin, I find him exhausting. I mean, I would be exhausted if I hung out with him. He's just too much energy, just too many ideas, coming out of his face.
Yeah.
He's adorable, but I would find him exhausting.
The first time I took it, I did pick Dustin, but I still got Jonathan as a result. So enough of my answers were still Jonathan.
Interesting.
But Will is definitely the Jonathan answer because Dustin will be the Steve answer.
Yeah, that's true. Movies or music?
Movies. Same?
Yes, yeah. Same.
I'm not a big music person.
Which Nancy outfit did you prefer?
Okay.
A classic, which is a jacket, like what kind of jacket would you say that is? With fleece on the inside, and was she wearing
like a sweater with a
shirt with a collared shirt inside?
Yeah, or the skirt suit.
It looks very comfy.
Who I want to know who would. Okay, I'm sure somebody would pick the skirt suit, but no, I went for the classic.
That doesn't look very comfortable.
No. Which adult would you go to for help, Murray or Bob?
I picked Murray.
Well, one of them is still alive. At least as far as I know. I haven't actually finished season 4. I went for Bob. Oh. I don't know.
I think Bob is definitely the no. Murray is the Steve and Bob is the Jonathan.
Yeah, that would make sense, I guess.
And if you didn't watch any of this show, you have no idea what we're talking
about. This is just names and words. Okay, let's pick a question that is not to do with one last question that isn't specifically Stranger Things. Well, the thing is, those ones I know. So, a vice between alcohol and weed. We've both gone for alcohol, right?
Uh-huh.
Which are you, introvert, extrovert? Have you done introvert?
I did introvert.
Yeah, I think we're both similarly like.
I've done it both. I've done it.
Or
yeah, or kind of in the middle. But what 80s horror movie did you?
Oh, I don't know anything about either of them, so I just went for The Thing.
Well, I did too. That's kind of funny, but do you know who Freddy Krueger is?
Like, only vaguely? Like, only as a name that I know, yeah.
Well, so Madeline was watching it, and I said something about Freddy Krueger, and I looked at her, I was like, do you even know who he is? And she's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think that. No, but she did.
And then pick a pet, cat or dog. You've gone for cat, right?
I picked the cat.
I went for the cat too. So I think all of the non-Stranger Things specific questions we would have picked the same, because the other one was, are you in a relationship? Yes, no, yes. And I suppose yes is the Jonathan answer as well.
Yeah, because yeah.
Okay. Apologies if you do not watch Stranger Things and have no interest in Stranger Things.
I think think it's a fun show. They only did the first part, and then the second part is coming out in July 1st, which is coming up next week.
Oh, no. Actually, now that you say that, I am completely caught up. I've watched everything that's, I think, in my head, because it hadn't ended, I just assumed that it was all, it had all released, because that's what Netflix normally does. They don't normally only release half. So I just, in my head, I thought, I'm only halfway through. But actually, I've watched everything.
Is it half? Did they do it half?
I don't know if they've done half or
2/3 and a third.
Who knows?
Hopefully it's half.
Yeah.
Because I'm enjoying the season. Though I kind of forgot about the kids running around in the desert. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Will and
oh yeah.
Will and yeah, his brother. Yeah. Okay, so that was our BuzzFeed and Nerdtastic at the same time.
Yeah. FOs.
All right, FOs. You have one.
Yay!
I know you have
one. So my Archive Cal project, which I only finished a few days after the Archive Cal technically ended, or no, a couple weeks, is what I'm calling my Alyson's wrap. Here it is. So this is...
So that's the thumbnail you're going to use, right?
Yep. The pattern is Meg's wrap, and that's by Julie Blagojevic. Dang it. I was really going to just say that like really smoothly, but yeah. And so the original Meg's wrap is a triangle shawl, and it has these sorts of sections of the stripes, whereas I've done it as a rectangle, and I've introduced sections of solid color. So really, it is only loosely inspired by Meg's wrap. And in fact, the designer messaged me on Ravelry to say that, basically that, whilst Alyson's wrap was definitely, it looks like it's inspired by hers, like it's basically its own pattern, and I should get testers and publish it as a design, like, and she was just like, you might be a designer. I'm like, actually, I am a designer. I don't think she knew that. And yeah, so I finished it, blocked it, and the border that I did was just a single crochet all the way around, and then a slip stitch in the back loop. So it's a very simple border.
Yeah. So is it helping with the curling?
Yeah, so I think the blocking kind of helped with the curling mostly. And I just, every time, like, I know in my head, in theory, that blocking makes a difference. But I think in my head, I'm more thinking about that, especially in terms of like lacy things. Like, obviously, it's going to make a big difference. Whereas this, because it's just single crochet all the way, and it's like, super solid fabric. I don't think that it's gonna make a big difference, but blocking it just makes such a huge difference. I'm like, it's so drapey and it's so nice, and I just want to like play with it. But yeah, the curling is definitely less. And yeah, originally I thought I would do the border and try and stick to the striping pattern, but I decided, because you would see the yarn as I worked over it, because this yarn is lace weight, and I have a loosish tension. So I just picked one of the colors from the stripes. So for instance, this is gray and purple stripes, and I just did the border in gray.
Yeah, that would have been a pain if you had striped the border.
Yeah, and if I had striped the border, it wouldn't really have worked for the slip stitches as much. To go back and forth, because you can't really work over a slip stitch. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
And I ended up using the most gray, and then mustard, and then purple, the least. So yeah, it's done. It's a pretty long scarf. I probably could have made it slightly shorter, but no, I think it works.
So you can wear it as a stole. Sort of. It's too long for that, isn't it?
What do you like?
like a wrap.
Oh. Yeah, it's a bit
That would be too long.
shallow-ish for that.
It's not super shallow.
No, I guess not. But I can wrap it. And if I want, I can wrap it twice. Extra cozy.
Oh, you know what? It looks like Hufflepuff colors.
Oh, the side. The mustard and yellow and gray.
Well, your puce, it looks very gray on the screen though. Isn't that like puce?
No, it's like a lilac. What's puce? I thought puce is
like
darker.
A grayish purple.
No? Okay. Well, anyway, so this is my FO. Done. Yay.
And I have a small FO. So I finished my purse socks number 11. And I'm numbering them. But I haven't, purse sock number 10 is still just the
top,
the cuff. Yeah, I knit. I was started at number 10, and then your dad was like, I want another pair of socks. So, it usually takes me a long time to finish socks. So I said, okay. So I took number 10 off the needles and started these socks so he can have them.
Nice.
And they're leftovers from projects. The navy blue, I used navy blue for the heels, toes, and cuff, and that came from my Just Float
jumper
sweater.
Yeah.
And then the stripy blue and teal and turquoise came from a scarf that I did a while ago with the bubbles. Not bubbles. I did a little short row blips.
Yes, I remember that.
So that's what that came from.
Nice.
So trying to use up my leftover bits. So that's the only FO I have. I mean, I don't really only haven't really been working on anything other than my float.
To be fair, you got a lot of that done.
I did, because last time we spoke 2 weeks ago, I hadn't started the second skein.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the second skein, where is he, all the way over here. No, down here, and then I've gotten this much done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Very good.
So, you got anything for me? No? Summertime. Busy with summer things.
Yes, very busy with summer things and guests and whatnot.
Yes, you need to install that revolving door.
Do you have yarny bits and bobs?
I don't have yarny bits. Do I have yarny bits? I don't have any bobs either. I'm trying to think where I was last time I spoke to you. Oh yeah, I was still in Boston. No, I haven't done anything because I was traveling.
Right.
I was traveling for another, like after we recorded, I was still traveling for another week.
Mm-hmm.
And then your sister came. We did go to Spun while she was here. I got her some yarn, some nice linen yarn. That's it. We just did a lot of touristy things around the area. Just go. So I was exhausted.
Recorded with Emily. She's been working on some cool things.
Yeah. Didn't think about it.
Okay. So if that's it, I can do a spiel.
Yes, you can spiel away.
Okay. You can find the show notes for this episode and every episode on our website, which is kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. You can follow us on Instagram, also at kcacypodcast. My personal Instagram is Alyson here, and my mom's is upstate_Viv. You can subscribe and review and rate and thumbs up and follow and comment on YouTube or wherever else you listen to podcasts. So thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry yarn. Bye.
Bye.